I Will Always Love You by Kausar Gani, illustrated by Zakia Hamid. There was once a boy named Sizwe. He lived with his mother in Soweto, Johannesburg. They were very close to one another. His father had passed away when he was very young. One day at school, Sizwe had fallen from the top of the jungle gym. The school had called his mother and he was rushed to hospital. After a long while in the theatre, the doctor had finally come out. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Khumalo," he said. "We did our best, but your son has lost his left eye. It was a serious accident." "No!" cried Mrs. K. "There must be something you can do, doctor. He is my only child, my reason to live." "I understand. I'm so sorry. I wish there was more we could do." "Is he awake yet?" she asked. "Not yet," replied the doctor. After a long while, Mrs. K asked the doctor if it was possible to have an eye transplant, and he stated that with the advance in medicine, anything is possible. Soon, Sizwe had a successful eye transplant. He was not aware that he had even lost an eye. When he saw his mum, he asked why she was wearing an eye patch, and she said that she hurt her eye and got an eye infection, but it wasn't anything serious. They finally got home, and Sizwe was excited as he would be going back to school. He did not tell his mum that he somehow felt different after the accident. Many days passed, and things were getting back to normal. Sizwe was going to take part in many races for his school sports. His mom was overjoyed. On the day of the sports, Sizwe arrived early with his mom. As soon as they entered, everyone was staring. Mrs. Khumalo just ignored everyone's weird reactions and took a seat on the stands. The learners all gathered around Sizwe and began asking him questions. "Sizwe, is that your mom? Why is she wearing an eye patch?" asked a boy. "Does she think she's a pirate?" asked another. Suddenly, everyone burst into laughter. Sizwe didn't find them funny at all. He tried to explain that his mum had hurt her eye, but no one would listen. At every school event, all the children made fun of him. Eventually, it got so bad that one day Sizwe arrived home furious. "Why, Mum? Why on earth do you wear that stupid eye patch?" he shouted. "Do you know how everyone laughs and makes fun of me? They call you a pirate. It's so embarrassing." "But Sizwe," cried Mrs. K, "take that thing off now," he yelled. "I can't. I wish I could," she replied. Sizwe storms off to his room as tears streamed down his mum's face. She made a promise to herself not to be a part of any school events. She didn't want him to be embarrassed or made fun of because of her. Eventually, Sizwe and his mum slowly drifted apart. When he was old enough, he moved to another town to work. Years passed, and Sizwe never kept in contact with his mother. He had a wife and 2 children. One day, Mrs. Kate decided to visit her son. When she rang the doorbell, 2 little girls opened the door. They screamed in horror and ran to their father. "Daddy, there's a scary pirate lady at the door." Sizwe instantly knew who it was. When he appeared, tears welled up in his mom's eyes. She couldn't believe how grown up he had become. "What are you doing here? Do you want to scare my kids?" he shouted. "Please, Sizwe," cried Mrs. K. "I just wanted to see you. It's been so many years." "Well, I don't want to see you," he said. "Please leave and never come back." Sizwe swung the door shut. 6 months later, Sizwe was in town for some business and decided to visit his old home. It looked the same as he remembered. He knocked on the door, but no one answered. Sizwe turned to leave when an old man appeared before him from the next yard. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am Sizwe. I've been knocking for quite some time. Do you know where my mother is?" he asked. "Oh, so you're him. She had been waiting for you for a long time, but sadly you are too late." "What do you mean?" exclaimed Sizwe. The old man went into his house and returned with an envelope. "This is for you," he said. Sizwe opened it and began reading the letter. "Dear Sizwe, by now you would be aware that I am no more. I wanted to bring you up in the best possible way that I could. I have always been proud to have had you as my son. Whatever little that I own now belongs to you. Please take care of the house, for it is the only thing that we have shared for the longest time. There is also something that you need to know. When you were little, you had an accident and had to go to the hospital. It was so serious that you had lost your left eye. The doctors searched for a donor for weeks, but there was no response. So I decided to donate one of my eyes to you. You were so young and had your whole life ahead of you. I couldn't bear to see you grow up different from any of the other children. This is why I always wore an eye patch. I couldn't tell you because I wanted you to lead a normal life like any other child. I have longed to be with you for many years, but I am glad that you have moved forward in life. I gave you my eye so that you could view the world the way I would have, and I decided to view the world the way you would have. Take care and know that no matter what, I will always love you. Lots of love, your mom." Tears streamed down Sizwe's face. He falls down and bursts out crying. He realized that all his mom wanted was the best for him. He took a long look at the letter and whispered, "I love you too, Mom. Always will."